About a week ago, last Saturday exactly, I faced a dilemma. Actually, it was two dilemma, facing two issues. First, I went online and researched and looked up TEDx and finally saw the list of speakers for today's event. I was going to be one of them now, and I was quite impressed and a little bit intimidated. Astrophysicists, entrepreneurs, politicians as well. It was a great group of people, and I was asking myself, was I up for the task? So dilemma number one. Dilemma number two was probably even more daunting. I had that evening dinner plans with my daughter's boyfriend's parents, possible future in-laws. Again, was I up for the task? So I decided to go for a bike ride. Actually, it really wasn't like that. It was more like this. Very casual, leisurely ride, a little bit of exercise to get going. And lo and behold, as I was making my way back, getting ready for the plans for the evening, I had an accident, a biking accident. I went off the road and crashed, and this was the result. I fractured my clavicle. I'm not making this up. See I can barely hold this clicker here. I fractured my clavicle in 4 places. There was 5 pieces there. And I said, whoa, my dilemmas have been resolved. It's perfect. Probably can't make the speech, so pressure's off. And more importantly, I'm definitely not making the dinner. The thing I didn't count on was the Swiss medical system. Very good, best in the world, they say. And I had a great surgeon, and he stitched me together. On Monday afternoon, I went into 2 hours of surgery, completely knocked out. They put screws, pins, plates, all sorts of stuff. They put it all together. And he told me afterwards, hey, you're going to be fine, no worries. You can make the dinner, and importantly, you can make the speech. So here I am. I want to talk today a little bit about, and briefly, about something that I think is very important and very much within the theme of what we're talking about today, reach. And that is success. What makes people successful? And I want to talk about common threads that are shared by successful people. Why am I qualified, or what makes me qualified to talk about that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing other than I'm obsessed by the topic. I do it for a living. I spend all of my time working and trying to find talented people that I think can become successful. People I can develop, people I can work with, coach, train, put in very difficult situations, see what they accomplish. People that we think as a leadership team in the company can be successful in their own right for our business. And so, based on that experience and a little bit of research, I think I'm capable of talking a little bit about this. Now, how did the topic come up? A few years ago, I was asked to talk to a group of students, 10th graders actually, in advance of a career forum. It was kind of in a setting like you see. Actually, it was more like this. It was a big auditorium, more impressive than the classroom setting. Lots of students, and the idea of the talk was to get them ready for their first career forum or career discussion where they're going to meet professionals of all different walks of life. And I wanted to get them to think about success in whatever way you define it, to get a feel for what causes or what are the things that lead to success. And so what did I do? I did a little bit of research, studied some of the best CEOs, top Fortune 1000 companies, where they come from. I looked at billionaires and other very financially successful people. I looked at people in the political world, also those that are involved in community service, anyone in any walk of life that was successful. I also reflected back on my own experience in my own career, in school, in sports, all the things I did throughout my 44 years of life. I reflected back on those to really draw on the things that I saw were common in successful people. And I thought long and hard about this question. What makes people successful? Was it predestined? Does it depend on the school you go to, or the courses you take, or the degrees that you have? Does it depend on your grades? who you know, your network? Does it depend on your personality? Does it depend on your background or your IQ? Sure, all those things are important, and any combination thereof will make someone very talented or very much prepared to be successful. But the answer to the question when I looked at all those things was that it was really none of the above. So I kept looking. Success, however you define it, is self-made. It is earned. Successful people come from all walks of life, but they share common threads. Now, these common threads are not measured by IQ, by degrees, by schools you go to, by money, or by networks. Rather, they are measured by things all of us possess or can possess if we so desire. So I came up with this 5 common threads plus 2 more that I've learned to appreciate since I first gave the talk. So you guys ready to go through that? Now before I do, come on, this is an interactive session, all right? So why is this important? Well, because success is well within all of our reaches. Whether you're a student or a teacher, me, the other speakers here, parents, or anyone else, success is within our reach. And the simple truth is that you determine your success. So let's go through the list. First, successful people dream big. Simple thought. I like to say that to have a big dream requires the same effort as having a small dream. Same amount of energy. Successful people dream big. Go for it. Second, some people will tell you to do what you love. I love golf and wine. I'm successful in neither of those loves of mine. I have a different spin on it. I say love what you do. And that's what I've seen in successful people across the board. Successful people are passionate. They have energy, enthusiasm about everything they do. Their life's work, their pleasures, their leisurely activities, whatever they do. Projects at home, community service. Successful people go all the way in, all of the time. They love what they do. Third, we heard this earlier today. Take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Successful people take chances. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they fall. But successful people get right back up. They learn from those mistakes, from those failures, makes them stronger, and they do it again. And they do it again. And one quote, I had written it down, that's why I looked at my notes, that I found quite helpful for this is that if you don't try for something unusual, if you don't go for the extraordinary, you're often going to settle for the ordinary. And I like sports, and another quote that I like to capture this thought of taking chances and taking risks is one from Wayne Gretzky, who's one of the greatest hockey players of all time. If there's any Canadians here, they will debate that and say he is the greatest of all time. Wayne Gretzky said that he missed 100% of the shots he did not take. Think about that. You can't win, you can't succeed if you don't take the shot. Take risks. Work hard. Yes, there are people out there that are smarter than you. There are people that have better networks, that went to better schools, that have better degrees, that come from more connected families, that are luckier. Successful people, all of them, work harder than anybody. They're committed. They're determined. They put more sweat equity into it. They're prepared for everything they do. They over-prepare sometimes. They put the hours in. Every successful person I know works harder than anyone else in their field. They never let anyone outwork them. Here's what Colin Powell said. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Focus on your strengths. In schools, in business, we all spend a lot of time talking about and thinking about our weaknesses. How do we fix them? How do we improve them? How do we get better on our weaknesses? Yes, it's important to improve on mistakes that we make, learn from them, and keep going. But I say focus on your strengths. And successful people do just that. They understand what they're good at, they understand what they're strong at, and they practice that, and they keep doing that, and they get better and better and better at it. Successful people focus on their strengths. Here's another quote to support that. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Coach John Wooden. So those are the 5 common threads or traits shared by successful people. Now remember, I wanted to share 2 more with you that I've learned since I first started to think about this topic. And the first one is kind of an odd one, which is act like an owner. Think about a shop owner. A shop owner that has a small store versus the employee that works in that store. Shop owner, she'll usually work late hours, be committed to the project. Always, when she leaves the store, turns the lights off. Employee, sometimes. Why does the shop owner do that? Because it's her investment. It's her company. It's her life's project. Owners behave differently. Whether it's in business or in school or a project you're working on, owners behave differently. Act like an owner. Own it. And then finally, as I was coming to this final list of 7, these last 2 topics came to me at a speech or a presentation I was at a few months ago, where I was listening to an investor, a very successful investor, and actually a shareholder at Burger King, who has been a very successful investor for many, many years. And he was giving a very poignant, very important talk on very simple but powerful thoughts around leadership and success. And one of the points he made was around acting like an owner in everything you do. And I reflected quite a bit on that. And what I found powerful about that, in addition to the thought of acting like an owner, is that no matter how long you've been at it, like I have for a while, or whether you're just starting, it's important to keep learning. Successful people always keep learning. They keep their minds open, they listen, they talk to mentors, they research. Successful people are always looking to learn more and to get an edge on the others. And it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. So that's my list. Dream big. Love what you do. Take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Work hard. Focus on your strengths. Act like an owner. And don't stop learning. Remember, success is within your reach. You determine your success. Thank you very much.
So again, let's try to discuss them. I know that most of you have got these successful traits, 7 traits, or maybe you can rewind and watch the video again. It's not a problem. You can watch the video once, twice, 4 times, 5 times. As long as as long as you do it to understand, that's a good thing. Okay, so there is something we need to say. He said about successful people, they are passionate. Very nice. The passionate people. That means they have passion toward what they were doing. Now, how to have passion? That means you have to love what you do. Right. So that's what he said. It's not about work what you love, also to love what you work, to love what you do. Now, for example, someone like me, I work as an instructor, so I love what I do. I try to do best in it. I try to do whatever it takes, like, to help everyone I know, to help everyone in need, to help everyone who wants to learn English and really have this desire. Okay, so let's go next. Now, to be successful, you need something. Now, let's talk about some of the things that you need to be a successful person. First, what's the first thing that we need when we want to be successful people? Yes, something important. Something like we need all to have. First, you need patience. Okay, now what's the meaning of patience? Patience when you wait for the things. Patience will help you to appreciate what you have. Now, if we're talking about patience, why do we need patience? We need patience because, because patience is a very important virtue. Because with patience, you learn how to have faith in your abilities. And you learn that everything happens for a reason. And in a specific time that is destined to you. Pay attention to this. When we talk about patience, like for example, when you start doing something, you have to wait until you gain the benefits or gain like the results of that thing. Let's say, for example, you started your own job. So when I start my own job, so I need to be what? I need to start it and be patient until I meet someone. Think about it. All the successful stories around the history were like this. Like someone started his own idea and he was patient. You know that WhatsApp, the application that we have nowadays, this person was rejected from Facebook, was rejected from Apple. And now they have both his own program. Okay, so is it coincidence? It's about patience. It's about being determined. Meaning, when you want to actually achieve your things, when you want to achieve your dream, you need to be determined. What's the meaning of determined? Determined means that you should actually stick to your opinion, follow your dream, do it. Do it the correct way you want it. Never give up. That means when you start something, make sure that you finish it. When I start looking for a job, when I start improving my skills, I make sure that I work on that skill until I finish it, which is very important for me. Okay? So the first thing, as we said, patience. Now let's go for the second thing. What's the second thing that we need? The second thing that we need is planning. Okay. Why is planning important? Now, when I talk about planning, I mean that you have to prepare and arrange everything. Now, we have two kinds of planning. We have the past plan, not always good, and we have the patient plan, and we have like the long planning. Now, pay attention to be moderate in every single thing that you do in your life. So pay attention that when you plan for something, try to take your time, yes, but not that much time. Meaning, when you take a lot of time planning, situation, it's different. So I plan again for the new situation. It gets different again. Again and again and again. So I'll be in a circle of planning but not doing anything. Now you have to plan. You have to have plan A, plan B, plan C. All of these are very important. Why? Because when you plan for something, you actually try to do it the same on a system. When you try to do it on a system, it helps you to be arranged. Now how about if my plan fails? I go to the backup plan, which is the plan B. Then plan C, then plan D, and whatever. Now let's watch this video about planning and let's ask this question. Let's ask ourselves this question. Okay, you're good planning, leading to failed projects. Why? Why does this happen sometimes with us? So let's watch this video.
Is your good planning leading to failed projects? In engineering and construction offices all over the world, promising projects suffer delays, encounter large cost overruns, and fail to meet their output projections. Why? Is it really due to bad planning? Or because project managers haven't done enough good planning? We say no to both. Rather, good planning is the problem. Good planning typically means more pages of tasks, more lines of specifications, and many, many more details. The devil really is in the details. What goes wrong? Most planning is based on work breakdown structures. That's good for accounting, but not so good for managing projects. Too much detail hides the relevant and inhibits correct action, creating a needle in the haystack situation. Too much detail in the plan makes it more difficult for the project managers and their teams, the people on the ground, to make the on-the-fly adjustments that are critical to all successful implementations. You need to set the right level of detail, only the level that an organization can effectively manage. When the level of detail in the plan is right, project teams can anticipate the consequences of any change. When projects are overplanned, consequences are impossible to forecast, and managers become incapable of responding rapidly. Forget plans and focus on plays. Things go wrong, and the more things there are in the plan, the greater the likelihood that small failures will lead to larger ones. That's why more planning in itself can never lead to timely and efficient project completion. The path to success is not more and many, many more details. The devil really is in the details. What goes wrong? Most planning is based on work breakdown structures. That's good for accounting, but not so good for managing projects. Too much detail hides the relevant and inhibits corrective action, creating a needle in the haystack situation. Too much detail in the plan makes it more difficult for the project managers and their teams, the people on the ground, to make the on-the-fly adjustments that are critical to all successful implementations. You need to set the right level of detail, only the level that an organization can effectively manage. When the level of detail in the plan is right, project teams can anticipate the consequences of any change. When projects are overplanned, consequences are impossible to forecast, and managers become incapable of responding rapidly. Forget plans and focus on plays. Things go wrong, and the more things there are in the plan, the greater the likelihood that small failures will lead to larger ones. That's why more planning in itself can never lead to timely and efficient project completion. The path to success is not more planning, but a focus on effective execution that anticipates problems and has the flexibility necessary for addressing them. In order to execute a project intelligently, you need a clear view of the situation, project awareness, shared objectives. Everyone must have the same goal. Collaboration. Everyone working together towards that goal. Planning for dynamic action. Planning will not and should not go away. However, to replace frustration with success, your SMART project plan must fit the size of the team that drives its execution while managing the uncertainties of execution. The project manager must understand each step in his plan if he expects to execute it. Planning should not be an objective in its own right. The plan's sole purpose should simply enable and guide execution. Better planning anticipates and highlights problems and gives project managers the tools they need to take corrective actions as they are needed. They need the tools to what-if possible solutions. By substituting static adherence to overly detailed plans with dynamic execution, project managers acquire the power to make workflows really flow.
What we watched in this video that he said over planning a lot, trying to make the perfect plan, will lead us to failure. Why? Because we're focusing on covering all the points and we need the perfect system. We have to believe in that. Perfection is just for Allah. Allah is perfect. Allah is perfect, but we're not perfect. So we need to go through the things. So we need to start our own things. So why is planning important? Planning is important to give me a system, but do not over-plan as we agree. Now, let's talk about this point. Planning is important because with good planning comes great results. But as we agreed, not great planning, not try to do whatever it takes to plan, just plan. Okay? If you created a good plan and a backup plan, so you manage to solve any problem that might face you. And any obstacle, here, I'm so sorry, so there is a typo here. Hide it. And any obstacle you might go through. So again, planning is important because with good planning comes great results. If you created a good plan and backup plans, you managed to solve any problem that you might face and any obstacle you might go through. So that comes with planning. And let's go for the next thing, self-confidence. So for being successful in the interview, I have to have self-confidence. Now we've talked planning about management. How about planning for the interview? Planning for the interview relies on doing your homework, doing your stuff, trying to do whatever it takes to do it correctly. So to be successful in interviews, to be successful in work, to be successful in life, you should plan first and have self-confidence. And self-confidence here will lead us to another thing we should have is to be a risk taker. Okay? Be a risk taker. Why should you be a risk taker? You should be a risk taker because it's very important. You should be a risk taker because risk taking will help you try to widen your horizons, open new places, and try to discover new things. When I be a risk taker, so I do my things. Then I think about it, then I think about how to fix my things. But at least I took the decision. But when I keep on planning without taking a decision, I will never take a decision in my life. Okay? Now, let's go next. So, being a self-confident person helps you to overcome lots of problems in your life. And also it helps you to make a healthy communication with other people. Now in life you need communication skills, as we talked about them before. Communication skills start by talking to people or trying to send an emails or anything to people. So to learn how to do this, you need to learn how to deal with people and treat people in a correct way, in a good way. Okay? Now, let's pay attention to next. You need to be a risk taker. That what we're talking about. How to be a risk taker. Let's go next. Life is about taking risks in everything. Job choosing, studying, even when you start your life by getting married or having a baby, This is also take a rest. Pay attention. Because it's a new thing for you. And you'll need to work harder. Also, you need to be more responsible because you'll have to take care of other people. You'll have no people in your life. You have to start your own family. Okay. Also, it starts from the family to colleagues at work or at school. So you need to make healthy communication with them in order to be successful. So to be successful, you need all of these communications. So these were some of the things. And we'll listen from the video to some other things. So these were some of them to be successful. I hope they were useful for you. And actually, you have to pay attention to this thing. Success starts from you. Success starts when you decide to be successful. To be successful is not easy. To be successful means hard work. Also, there is something more important than being successful. To stay successful. Staying successful is harder than being successful. Pay attention also to stay successful. You need always to innovate your ideas, widen your horizons, talk about lots. Okay, let's go next. So something related to success is setting goals. Now, how to set goals? Let's watch.